Welcome to Faith on Tap, a podcast where we go out to the wilds of local breweries and talk to you about, thoughts and various topics that are important to all of us.
So we are here at Counterweight Brewery in Cheshire, Connecticut. It is a noisy place today.
Very busy.
I had expectations that we could finally get to go to a brewery where it's not ridiculously loud. And, well, let's hope for noise cancellation being effective again. Anyway, Liz and I opted to eat at home today where, Liz, what did we have?
We had Mark's absolutely outstanding pulled pork and broccoli, yes. Oh, was it your farm, Mark?
It just might have been my own broccoli, yes. Dennis, I see you're, looks like you're done.
I had to food truck it this evening for the food truck outside. I too had a pulled pork sandwich, which was
did you? Is that
which
what it
was very good with a like a honey mustard on top and coleslaw.
It seems like you're not liking that coleslaw too much.
A little bit overkill.
Is it the dreaded?
I made you like a quart of it. I've never seen so much.
It's a lot.
Single serving coleslaw in my life.
It's a plainer coleslaw. There's no heaviness to it.
Is that mayonnaise laden? Because I hate coleslaw. Oh,
No.
that would be good then. Probably excellent. Probably so it's good for you, so you're not going to like it.
It lacks chutzpah.
Gotcha. Tonight we are going to be asking the question,
What blows your mind?
okay, what blows your mind? So obviously the question leads to many different directions. It'll be interesting to see what our guests have to say. You have any hunches, Liz?
I think people are going to talk about the mysteries of life. I really do believe that a couple people will go that deep. They'll say, I can't believe that we're here and we get to do this.
Dennis?
No, I can't imagine that at least one person isn't going to say, I can't believe Trump got elected. It just blows my mind.
Okay, well, and we'll probably be surprised what other people say. So at this point, let's get to talking. What in your world that you see with your eyes and your mind wows you, blows you away?
I mean, this is it's kind of stock, but I have a 4-month-old son, and the other day he found his hands. He discovered that he had hands. So that was pretty crazy, but that's a thing anyone in that situation would say. So I'm now that guy.
Oh, what is that guy? It's a beautiful thing. It's a wonderful thing. It's not cheesy.
A little.
It's your son. Come on.
Cheesy.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that.
I embrace it wholeheartedly.
And this is your first son. Is there anything else about those growing up experience that had the same effect? Like, oh yeah, when he did this, or when your son grows older, is there the next thing that you're looking forward to doing?
Based on friends of mine that have kids, it's really interesting to see how and if they subscribe to things that their parents like. That's kind of a fun bonus. So I like a lot of weird stuff, so it'd be funny if he liked any of that weird stuff, but I wouldn't thrust that upon him. But
not a wow factor. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it would be a wow factor if he got into that stuff.
Absolutely.
If he suddenly wanted to go to an Iron Maiden concert, like my friend took his son to the other night, that'd be pretty wow. Yeah, I'd be all about it. Yeah.
Ryan, do you have any thoughts on this one?
What was the question again?
What blows your mind?
Blows my mind. I guess there's a lot of things that blow my mind, like spilled beer. And the creativity of people, but also just the creativity of some young people. The way people do things, whether it's art, sports, woodworking, anything really. Some people bring it to a level, and then other people, and I've seen a lot of younger people, bring it to an even higher level with very little effort. That blows my mind.
I love it. That's a great answer, because I don't have anything that I'm awesome at. And then when I see people who sing great or can do great woodwork, it's incredible. Is there anything that are you gifted in anything like that?
Yeah, I do a little woodworking. I can make axe handles from scratch from, just a piece of wood. But there's a lot of other things that I can't do that I still find amazing. And
Do you think your woodwork would wow me?
maybe
That's awesome. That's great. That's great. Hey, thanks for your time. Mark, by the way.
What about life or in life blows your mind?
We can create children and form life.
Here, take the mic. So with that, we can create children.
That we can create life. It's
That we-
unbelievable. That's the most amazing thing in life, right?
Wow.
That you could create life.
I never expected to hear that as an answer. That's an amazing answer. What? How did you? Where?
Well, I have children, so I just see how amazing they are every day.
Right. So you've witnessed the birth of your children.
Yeah, you see them grow up and you
Yeah.
see them progress and learn.
That's
It's
amazing.
unbelievable. That's why we're all here, right?
Yep.
That's what I think
Wow.
the most amazing thing in life is.
How many kids do you have? Two boys, girls,
Two boys, 9 and 6.
Oh, that's a good age. I had one boy, but he's grown and off of Massachusetts now. But
Oh, great.
to bring life, that's great. Now, how about you? And so, what about life blow your minds?
Yeah, but as I said, like if anything, my kids achieve something, that
Oh,
makes
really?
me a proud father, you know.
So, a proud father.
Yeah, and like for example, my elder daughter got into Yukon, and the program what she got into, she was dreaming all her high school days.
Yep.
I was as a father, I was helping her. That's one of the proud moment for me.
Wow, very cool.
Yeah.
Very cool. What in life blows your mind?
What did we say? What did Sonny say?
Oh, it doesn't matter what he said.
I know, but I'm just like, I don't know what blows my mind.
He had to do with his family.
I guess like what blows my mind is when people just do whatever makes them happy. There's no reservations.
Oh, really?
They don't worry about, which kind of goes back to what I would do if failure was no option,
Mhm.
or if that wasn't an option. I think just people being so carefree. I feel like I'm like, how are you like that? Because I'm so anxious. I'm like always stressed out. So I feel like I'm like, how are people so like that? They're just
Mhm.
themselves, you know, not that I'm portraying something I'm not,
Right,
but
right.
just being so carefree and being so happy and doing what they love. I'm like, that's like crazy to me. I'm like, I wish I could just like take the gamble and do it.
And so, what blows your mind is other people's ability to be happy and carefree and just
Doing whatever they
Live
want.
life for the
and
moment.
They don't care. I'm a people pleaser. Some people are like, I don't give a shit. Like, I'm just
Right.
going to do whatever I want. Like, that's like crazy to me.
that's
Yeah.
very interesting.
I don't know. I couldn't
Perspective.
think of anything else.
Well, that's it. Well, I'm glad you were honest and just didn't make something up.
I mean, obviously, like, I don't know. Yeah.
Cool. Well, thank you very much. And
I saw this. I was fascinated.
I'm Dennis.
Jared,
Jared.
very well.
All
I'm a
right.
big podcast listener.
All right. So,
I'm gonna go download this and listen to myself talk. This is wonderful. Yeah.
what in life or about life blows your mind?
What in life or about life? I mean, it's just the fact of life, right? The fact of our awareness, our consciousness, the fact that like we are beings that experience this thing, have choices, have valences. I mean, that's the most mind-blowing thing of all, right? Just the fact of our existence, the fact that experience washes through us. Of course, for sure.
So where does this existence come from that blows your mind?
The basement of existence, or like, why is it that I find it so interesting?
Now, like what made this existence exist?
I mean, why is there something here rather than nothing? I mean, there always had to be something, I think. I don't think there ever could have been nothing. The lights never could have been off, right? If there's any reason that any of this exists, why there's a reason for it, I don't think they'll ever know. That's not something we can know. People have beliefs, faith traditions about all that kind of stuff. Who knows why?
But for you, what's your why?
Oh, why? I mean, I think the universe wants to be understood. I think we're just a chunk of it examining itself, right? I think the universe itself wants to be understood. It's a thing that's churning along, demanding understanding for sure.
Wow.
100%.
Very cool.
Hey,
Very cool.
It's made of stuff that demands to be recognized. Yeah, the universe is like made of that kind of stuff, I think. Yeah.
And so just the very fact of our existence
Yeah.
blows your mind.
Oh, 100%. I mean, all of this is remarkable, and it could not be remarkable. It could just be churning along. But I think it is fascinating. It is interesting.
Yep.
I think the more you pay attention to it, it's endlessly interesting. Yeah.
Yep. Now,
100%.
Joe here said what blew his mind was the fact that we as humans can recreate life. Like we could be bringers of life. So it's kind of very similar of, in that context of the simplicity of it.
Yeah.
Yet just mind blowing.
A process moving forward in time. Yeah.
Yep.
Like something recreating, being understood. Yeah, 100%.
Yep.
I think that's the most miraculous part of all this. Yeah.
Very cool.
My name is Mazzy.
Okay. Hi, Mazzy. How are you? So our question today is, what is something that really just like amazes you about the world?
I will say old school kindness.
Oh, okay. Can you tell me what you mean by that? An example, maybe?
Like when I lived in New York City, when you're on the subway and someone's pregnant, I mean, 9 times out of 10, people will get up and actually give you a seat.
Oh, that's fantastic. You've experienced that?
No, I just watched it.
Just watched it. So that's good. That's really sweet to know because New York doesn't always have the best reputation for that. That's cool.
And welcome, everybody. We have Liz here today,
Hello.
and we have not Dennis, but we have, ready? We have the disciple of doctrine.
Oh, I have to agree with that. Doctrine is important.
And
Disciple,
being the disciple
A
of that.
student of doctrine. Okay.
All right.
We don't have to go any further with that one.
We might
Perfect.
make a plaque and put that for you. Okay, well,
I get a trophy?
Yeah.
Participation trophy.
we're finished talking to the people and we had responses that, let me bring it to you guys. First of all, I guess you had to plan on me asking you this question of the question that we asked, what's something that blows your mind? I'm going to be asking you what blows your mind. But before we do that, when I reflect on that, there's different areas that blows my mind. Arts, science,
You're
religion.
too scientifically knowledgeable to not have your mind blown.
No, that's.
I think it makes it
That's
more so.
That's the farthest thing from the truth. Let me ask you, first of all, you can pass on this if on any topic. In the area of science, is there anything in science that blows your mind, starting with Liz?
What I find as both delightful and blows my mind is as much as we know about biology and the function of the cell, we cannot in any way artificially create life.
That's true. That's true.
That's a good one.
And that blows your mind.
It blows my mind because they've been working on it for decades and decades.
And
They can work
the lightning,
wonders around
the
everything
lightning
else.
bolt in the primordial
Super
soup
doesn't work. Didn't work.
Never
Well, that's
did.
Did not
because
work.
it's not soup, it's ooze.
Yeah.
Everybody knows
Doesn't
it's
work on the
ooze.
ooze
Doesn't
or
work
the
on the
soup.
ooze or anything. Amino
It's
acids,
fascinating.
maybe, but life, no.
Yeah, and it's not the right amino acids.
Right. Dennis, are you going to pass on the science part?
No, I won't, because something in it, and it's your fault pretty much.
I get that a lot.
About physics and things like that, and you know, I've watched some things about the bending of time and black holes and event horizons and things like that, and I want to be the first guy that gets sucked into the black hole in the right ship so that I can figure out and see and experience exactly what's taking place.
Unfortunately, you will not be able to report your findings to anybody because as you're trying to report that information, it's going out at the speed of light, but the speed of light is sucking it back in. So that's a mystery you'll live with the rest
It's
of
a one-way ticket.
Yeah.
See, mind blown.
And you'll be spaghettified.
Spaghettified, yes, I heard about this. Stretched out,
Yes.
bent, yeah.
A pastor of pasta.
Ooh, I like that. I like that.
String theory, woohoo!
Okay, so we'll pass on that part. Yeah, for me, obviously, I love science, and there's so much to think about. Whether we're talking about the vastness of space, the fact that if you travel the speed of light, which we can't get 1/10000000% of that, it would take 190,000 years at the speed of light to try to go across the universe. It's just unbelievable. The black holes and singularity, the fact that it's singularity, where all the mass of a star shrinks to, it's of zero size. The mass is of 5 or more masses of the sun, and the density is infinite.
Huh?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Explain that. You can't. But because the volume is zero, but all the mass is in size zero, it's incomprehensible.
But here's something that blows my mind in that same context is the universe is expanding.
Yes.
So there's nothing around the universe, and yet the universe is expanding into nothing.
Correct.
Great.
It's
Creating itself.
It's expanding
Creating
into
itself.
something that wasn't there.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not going into empty space. It's creating space.
Thank you. That even.
Yeah. Well, even dark energy and dark matter. We have 90% of the universe we know is there, but we can't detect it. We don't know what it is. We don't know why it's there. We don't know what purpose it is, but we know it's there because of the rate of expansion. The dark energy. We know there's an energy force that's repelling the mass. We have no idea what that is, why it is, how it is. Those things enthrall me. But in science, I think the biggest thing that I always fall back on is the anthropic principle.
Oh, the anthropic principle.
The idea that if you look at the universe, basically it states that there's no way the universe should exist and be what it is, yet it exists. And it cries out intelligence. And it is funny because I've seen a number of lectures. I've been to Yale, listened to the top lecturers, and they go, basically, if you don't believe in God, they'll say, well, I know it appears that way, but really it doesn't exist because it's just an illusion. And it's like they come up with ideas that are non-scientific, nonsensical, but they hate the idea of giving God credit. But those are the things in science that blows my mind. There's a lot. Anyone for math?
The fact that we can actually comprehend that the universe is actually ordered enough that math can exist, I find extraordinarily hilarious.
This might sound a little prehistoric, but why do we put letters in math? Letters belong in words, numbers belong in math. That's just me.
And that fact alone blows your mind. Why we have algebra.
Why?
I'll just say infinity kind of blows my mind. How can there be an infinite amount of something? How could it have no end?
Oh, I thought the biggest number was 1 million.
No, it's 1,000,001, I believe.
Always get that wrong.
Yeah, that's all right. And I'm here to correct you.
I have no idea what you guys are talking about, but that was good.
Let's go to arts.
Arts.
Liz, you're familiar with the arts, I believe. If you don't know Liz, she's an incredible artist in just about every medium known to mankind. So is there anything in the arts that blows your mind?
I am absolutely blown away by people who have so much control over their body that the way they can dance. I think that's amazing. Because that's one thing, among others, but it's one thing that I can absolutely not do is dance. And watching people's proprioception and to have full understanding of where their body is in space and time, because I can't do that. It's glorious.
There's a picture hanging it used to be a picture hanging in the Yale Art Museum. Paintings, I love the way that people can capture the essence of the personality of a person in portraits and things like that. But there's a portrait that used to hang in the Yale Art Museum. And as you would walk by it, as you would literally just walk by, the picture would follow you. So the portrait would follow you as you walked in front of it from left to right to left. It didn't matter. And I thought, how ingenious was this artist to be able to pull this illusion off with his painting? Yeah. And just the creative power that we have in those contexts.
Yeah, that is cool. My view is a little broader because I have no artistic ability, but I love art. I love all forms of art, which is kind of frustrating for me, but that's another story. But the fact that any art can bring an emotion, a deepness, a sense of awe that you can't get in anything else, be it music, a great painting. You look at that and you get a feeling and you can't describe it. It's like beauty. How do you describe when you see something beautiful? That blows my mind because I can't duplicate that. I can't even begin to understand it. But it gives me an emotional outlet that I can't get in science or math or anything else. And to me, beauty in the arts is something which I can't wrap my head around, but boy, do I appreciate it. If I was going to ask you at the brewery and ask you what blows your mind and not giving you any limits, Dennis, what would you say?
I thought about this because I knew you were going to ask this question. I hate cliche. I hate cliche answers. But I have to go cliche. I am blown away that even in my darkest hour, God still loves me perfectly.
It's not a cliche if it's from your heart.
I just keep coming back to that over and again, that I am loved with a perfection that I will never understand, even in my crappiest moment.
Liz, do you have anything?
Yeah, I actually do. And you'll attest that I 100% feel this way. The unity of the whole Bible and the reflection of Jesus in every single chapter of the Old Testament into the New, it's just so seamless and beautiful, and it's just almost like ridiculous.
It's almost like divinely written.
It's so, and they're all like, Jesus is in the Old Testament, and I'm like, oh, honey, sit down. I have a few things to say. It's just astonishing, and it's to the point where it just makes me laugh. This is the coolest thing ever. And Mark knows how I geek over that a lot.
Yeah, there's a website. It's a Jewish website, and there's a lot of rabbis that do a lot of teaching on it, and they teach a lot from obviously the Old Testament. I just yell at my computer screen going, "Don't you see Jesus?"
Yeah, exactly. And yeah, mine's cliche as well, but it's really true, and it's similar to what Dennis was saying. It's the unconditional love that God has, and it's like, I know me, and I know I myself can't unconditionally love, and when I pray for the Holy Spirit to help me, I can go a good 5-10 seconds with that. The unconditional love. And it really is. I was having a conversation with someone who was inspired by a book they were reading. And she said that I was told to look in the mirror at myself and say, I'm a lovely person 10 times. And she said, oh, yeah, really? That's good. I only got to 4 and I couldn't do it anymore. And it's like, yeah, I don't know if I can get past 1. And it's like, that's wrong though. I mean, we are loved by God. We're beautifully made by God, but we don't believe that. And it's hard for us. And I don't know if that's American culture or what, that we just can't accept that we do have that unconditional love. You have any thoughts on that?
I think humanly speaking, I'm not sure we can unconditionally love. Like I know we can say we unconditionally love our children, but love is patient, love is kind, love, blah, 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 blah in the scripture. So if we been estranged from our children because they're jerks, so yeah. I'm not sure we can. And so I think that idea of unconditional love, like I have messed up so bad right now. There's no way that God isn't ticked off at me. Yet he's never ticked off because he sees Jesus when he looks at me.
I agree with that. So could you look in the mirror and say to yourself, look in the mirror and said, I am loved by God. I am special 10 times.
Well, I don't want to say I can't do it because I never tried to do it, but that's a challenge right there. Yeah.
I'm sensing an Instagram reel. Honestly, whenever you saying that, I just remember that Saturday Night Live skit where he says, "You are loved, you are special," and I'm like, I can't get past that. I can't even remember the name of the skit, but no, I can't do that.
My parents were in Amway back in the 80s. The positive mental attitude stuff, and every morning he required of us as a family to look in the mirror and say, "Today I'm becoming happier, healthier, stronger, and more wise and profitable."
Nothing wrong with that.
I remember that from like being 10 years old still, because every day in the mirror, I'd look in the mirror with my wet head and proceed to speak that mantra.
And you became a pastor and you got it all fulfilled.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Well, the more prosperous one anyway.
Hey, podcast listeners. We're trying to grow the podcast and would love your help. Please comment, like, and share on Facebook and Instagram. This would really help more listeners find us. Hearing from you means a lot, so feel free to join the conversation. It always makes the podcast that much more interesting.
Tune in next episode when you'll hear Dennis say,
laced with profanity and unusable material,